Some cars look so weird that they make us smile. These automobiles definitely stand out from the crowd, thanks to their unique designs. In today's video, we'll go over some of the funniest looking cars. On number 10, we have Norman Tim's Special. This is the perfect one to start out the list because it doesn't have any doors. The car was created by Norman E. Timms and is named after him. This project took him over 3 years to complete. This car is known as one of the most streamlined cars ever created, and its swooshing effect will be humorous to some. Stout Scarab is on number 9. This design could certainly give the Volkswagen bus a run for its money. It was designed by William Bushnell Scout in the 1930s after he envisioned an office on wheels. It was an admirable attempt, but it didn't land quite as efficiently. It's also the first recorded minivan to ever hit the market, making it an icon in its own right. On number 8, we have a Bugatti Type 57's Aerolive. Surprised to see a Bugatti on the list? We know, it's hard not to picture models like the Chiron when the name is brought up. But they are also responsible for one of the funniest looking cars to ever hit the market. They produce a ton of models, so they were bound to make a funky one, but this car still lives up to the Bugatti quality for what it's worth. The Aerolite featured a very prominent swoosh design that made the car a trendsetter. General Motors' Sabre started off as a concept car in 1951. This design was reported to be inspired by an aircraft, complete with the warp around the windshield and the tail fins that became iconic throughout the 50s and 60s. At the time, this was nowhere near a funny look, and almost every automobile on the streets looked just like this model in some way. The GM Sabre saw mass production, and it remains a sought-after car despite its now funny appearance due to modern-day styles. Ford had to make this list somehow, and it did with the 1932 Speedster. The look is directly influenced by Ford himself, making it iconic. It made absolutely no sense to anyone around, even in its own time period. This was because of the split-point windscreen that many found inconvenient back then, seeing how it even pointed downward. Bootleggers like Al Capone himself drove this car, and it fetches nearly $1 million at auction whenever the model goes on the block. Today, it's still considered one of the funniest looking cars ever made. On number 5, we have Peel P50. Just imagine that little one-seater at the red light next to you, teasing the gas trying to persuade you to race it. It was mass-produced by the Peel Company from 1962 to 65, and it was a hit in Western Europe. It holds the Guinness World Records title as the smallest car ever produced. The three-wheel placement really sells this car as a funny-looking model, and we can see how it could be hard to get in and out of it. 1948 Tasco is hands down one of the funniest looking cars to ever be produced. The only real fans of this car nowadays are the hardcore classic lovers, and we can see how the car could leave an impression on them. It was a prototype of a post-World War II sports car, and the steering mechanisms are modeled after flight controls. The designer, Gordon Bierig, made sure to include a T-top roof, which made it the first car ever to feature it. The car didn't make much sense for anyone back then, and it still leaves many scratching their heads in confusion today. Putting one of these models on the list and discarding the other two would be a crime. The inspiration behind the car was clearly a jet, and with each passing model, it seems like they forgot they were even building a car. It looks like a jet that is permanently grounded, and the third model features 7 fins on the rear of the car, with the first model looking like a straight-up rocket. It was funny back then, and thinking about seeing this roll through town beside you would certainly bring a hefty chuckle to you. General Motors released these models in 1953, 1956, and 1959. Streamline X Gilda is one of the funniest looking cars that was ever produced, but we have to admit it does look really cool. Was it inspired by a spaceship? We don't know, but we do know that the designers wanted the car to be more aerodynamic, which brings up a few of questions that we would like answered. This car design never quite took off. Many still see this as an oddly shaped car. Ferrari 512's Modulo tops the list. It landed somewhat well with people back in the day, with the market knowing that the Ferrari quality would be there despite the funky design. Although it has its odd qualities, we can see why it gained the success that it did. Nowadays the model would stick out like a sore thumb, with some people asking you if you are there to help save the galaxy, or is something you would find on an 80s Guardians of the Galaxy set. This model doesn't come cheap, but old Ferrari models seldom do. I hope you had fun watching all these uniquely designed cars. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe my channel.